I bet you weren't expecting this. So hey everyone, it's Jammin Jet here, and today we're going to be talking about the Nintendo 2DS. And I bet you're thinking, seriously, is this real? Nintendo have actually gone ahead and done this. And when I first saw the video entitled Nintendo 2DS Official Announcement, I was shocked because I didn't think this was real. I thought it was some sort of spoof. But when I actually watched the video, I know a lot of people are going to hate me for this, but I actually think it's a really good idea. First of all, it's appealing to those who can't afford the 3DS, which is quite a lot of people I know, who are really reluctant to buy a console, especially when it first came out and there weren't any good games for it. People were like, no, this is going to be a really bad console. And now the 3DS is coming out with games like Pokemon X and Y, the new Animal Crossing game, Luigi's Mansion 2, Pokemon Mario Sticker Star, the list goes on. So there's an amazing amount of good games that have come out this year and last year onto the 3DS, making the library absolutely supreme over most handheld consoles, exclusive-wise, I would have to say. But a lot of people hate it on it because it's a bit random. It feels like a step backwards, and I don't want anyone. I think that's the wrong idea to take from it. I think the idea to take from it is that it's more of a. It's not a step backwards. It's sort of a step across. It's a sidestep. So it's a game. It's a console that's running parallel with the 3DS, as opposed to being an advancement on the 3DS, which is what a lot of people would want from the next generation console. This isn't appealing to anyone who's got a 3DS already. If you've got a 3DS or a 3DS XL already, this is fine. You don't need to watch this video because you don't need to buy this console unless you just want to buy it just because you can say I've got a 2DS and a 3DS. Yay! But you don't need to do that because there wouldn't be much point in having a 3DS and a 2DS. The 2DS does everything a 3DS does, minus the 3D. That's the only catch. Oh, and the only other catch is it's not got a flippable screen. It's like a flat, almost like a Game Boy Color type sort of flat pad. The screens, I believe, are actually the same dimensions of that of the 3DS, the original, not the XL, of course. But there are two catches. Those two. The fact that it doesn't play 3DS games, or it plays 3DS games, but it doesn't play them in 3D. So you can play Mario Kart 7, as shown in the picture. You can play Super Mario 3D Land, Ocarina of Time 3D, Star Fox 64 3D, all the other ones I mentioned in the past. You can play them all on the 2DS, minus the 3D. That is the only problem or not the problem, the only catch to buying this, and the flat screen. The only way to power it off, because you can't obviously flip the lid down, is there's a little shutdown. I believe there's a screen turn off button. I'm not quite sure how that works. Is it like pressing the button on your monitor on your computer so it goes into like the monitor turns off? I think it's going to be similar to that, although the power button might be a separate thing or might be the same. I don't entirely know. They haven't released a lot of information about that. But it comes out October 12th, same day as Pokemon X and Y. So this is actually a really good marketing idea, because anyone who hasn't bought the 3DS already would put off when the 3DS first came out because of the terrible launch lineup. It's the same problem the Wii U is having currently, because it's been almost a year and the Wii U has virtually no good games on it, or no mainstream first-person party games. New Super Mario Bros. U is a really good game, came out at launch. You know, they released some DLC for that, got really good high ratings, but that's one game, and that isn't enough to attract people into buying the Wii U. And the 3DS had the same problem when it first launched, except it didn't have any first-person games. No Mario, no Zelda, no Pokemon, no, not even Luigi. Luigi didn't even get a say. We didn't even see a Zelda game until June, which was like 3 or 4 months after the 3DS launched. That was the first real, console seller for the 3DS. And then, December that year, we saw games like Mario Kart 7, Super Pokemon Rumble, and Mario 3D Land finally coming out. That was a good turning point, because a lot of people picked up the 3DS for Christmas. And the people who saw the 3DS when it first came out and thought, this console hasn't got any games, it's such a ridiculous amount of money. It was $300, over £200. It's a ridiculous amount of money for a console that doesn't have any real Nintendo games. Seriously, they were all just companies who were like, oh, this console might sell, let's release our game on it. And it was just companies like Asphalt, one of the Asphalts came out in 3D. Why would you... Ridge Racer came out, and I think Nintendogs and Cats came out. I think that was the only Nintendo-like game that came out. Street Fighter, I think, got a 3D release, but that was just a remake, basically. It wasn't... I don't think it was anything new. And if it was, it wasn't particularly good. It didn't get great reviews. So there really wasn't much. But now the 3DS has got so many good games on it. The 2DS is so much cheaper. It's about £50 cheaper, $75, I want to say, cheaper. So it's pretty much, it's just a cheaper way of playing 3DS games. And if you really can't afford a 3DS, but you want to get games like Pokemon X and Y, you want to get games like Mario Kart 7, you want to play online with your friends, you just can't afford it, then this is basically the perfect way of doing it. It's actually a really good marketing idea, and a lot of people are hating on it. When I saw the announcement video, it's like 2/3 dislikes. But I think it's only because people think that it's not a step forward, and that's the problem that it's having. It's because people are thinking, well, I don't want the next console to be a step backwards. It's because it's not trying to be a step forward. It's trying to be the same generation of console, but just opening itself to more people. I think in the interview that someone had with Reggie Yates, I can't remember what the interview was, but they were announcing that the 3DS or the 2DS even wasn't appealing to people. It was appealing to a younger audience, because the 3DS isn't supposed to be for people aged over 7+. But it's not just that, in my opinion. I think it's just being able to be cheaper, being more accessible to different types of people. And with that, I guess I'll talk to you guys next time. If you have views on the 2DS, do you think it's a bit weird? Do you think it's going to be a good idea? Do you think it's going to sell the console, sell 3DS games in general? Let me know down below. I guess I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out.